Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So, as you can see from the title and the thumbnail of this video, we are talking about the situation that the Boston Celtics have now dug themselves into in the Eastern Conference Finals against the Miami Heat. So, after it was a 4-night layoff between games 3 and 4. On Wednesday night, the Celtics lost to the Heat 112 to 109. So on paper, it was a 3-point loss, but the Celtics looked way worse than the score indicates. They went on a little run there at the end, but it just wasn't enough. It was all too late. They basically, down the stretch in the fourth quarter, for the last 4.5 minutes, they had to be perfect. And they were really good, but they weren't perfect. There were still some turnovers. There were still some shots being missed that shouldn't have been missed. And that led to them just coming up short with a 3-point loss. Now, like I said, it was definitely worse than a 3-point loss. They just didn't look like they had it all game. There were some tough calls not being called for them, tough calls against them, but that's not the reason they lost. Jason Tatum didn't look like himself for the first, half of the game, pretty much. Marcus Smart had some key turnovers at the end of the game. For some reason, he tried like a no-look pass right under the basket to Gordon Hayward. It was nowhere near him, and it just went out of bounds. It was a very crucial part of this. I think it was under a minute left. I don't know why he even tried that. It made no sense whatsoever. Jaylen Brown didn't look exactly that great. It's just, it's not exactly the way that we were hoping it would go as Celtics fans. Probably wasn't the way they were hoping it would go as the team itself. So here we are now. Game 5 is tonight. I believe it's also at 8:30. Yes, it is. So Friday night, Game 5 for the Celtics. Down 3-1 in the series, so if they lose tonight, they're done. They go home, and the Heat will go to the NBA Finals. And most likely face the Los Angeles Lakers, as they are also now up 3-1 on the Denver Nuggets in that series in the Western Conference Finals after their win last night. Now, if you watched the game like I did, you don't need me to tell you that the Celtics just don't look good at all. After that whole locker room thing that happened after Game 2, and they came out looking like they did in Game 3, I thought maybe they had turned it around, but winning one game doesn't do the justice. There's no reason for that whole outburst and trying to bring everyone together to only make for one win in the series. Now, don't get me wrong, they looked really good. That's some of the best basketball I think they played in the entire playoffs in Game 3, especially against an opponent like this. But you got to do it for more than one game. You got to do it for 4 straight games. Now it's 3 straight games. The Celtics didn't have to win tonight if they had won Wednesday. Like, if they were going into tonight tied 2-2 in the series, tonight wouldn't be it wouldn't be what it is. It would be nice to win tonight and be up 3-2 if they were to win Wednesday. But going down 3-2 is way better, and having to win 2 in a row is way better than being down 3-1 and having to win 3 in a row. I don't think I have to tell anyone that. If you're good at math, then you know that. So I don't know. Something has to change, because if they look like the team that they have looked like in the first 2 games and the other night, then they don't have a chance tonight. It's all but over for them if they look like that. They have to come out looking like the team that they did last Saturday before that 4-game break that they had leading into Wednesday. 4-day break. So I personally, call me pessimistic, but I don't really think it's I think it's all but over. I don't think maybe they win tonight, but I don't think they've shown that they will win tonight, and even if they do win tonight, they're really going to have to show that they can actually sustain a 3-game winning streak, basically. And I don't think they have done that. I don't think unless that team on Saturday shows up, they haven't done that. So for me personally, there's no reason to believe that this series is going to go longer than tonight. Like, I believe that this is probably it for the Celtics this season, unfortunately. And you can disagree with me. That's what this is all for. I don't know. Individual players, like I said, Smart is just, I love him. He's the heart and soul of the Celtics team. He is an all-NBA defender. And he can hit the occasional 3 and rarely get hot from 3 and change the way the game is going. But unfortunately, most of the time, when it's late in the game, as we saw on Wednesday night, the turnovers and the really dumb shots, just that it's not the time for those things, and he decides in his head that unfortunately it is the time for those things. So something's got to change with that. He needs to smarten up. No pun intended, Marcus Smart. He needs to smarten up at the end of basketball games, especially in the playoffs, because he's just not playing to his full capacity within the last 3 minutes of basketball games for the most part. So that's really unfortunate. Jason Tatum got hot towards the end of the game. It seems like he's better all of a sudden at hitting shots. He's better at hitting shots when a defender is like literally in his mouth, in his face, hand like basically smacking him on the forehead, than he is when he's wide open, which makes no sense at all. I don't really understand that. Every defender was in his shooting space. He's landing literally on the defender towards the end of that game, and it looked better than when he was wide open at some points earlier in the game. So he's got to come out way better. He's got to be that guy. He has to be that dude for the next 3 games. For tonight, if they win, for the next game, and if they win, for the next game, for Game 7, if they even make it that far, because he's the best player on this team. He has to he has to be that guy. He has to be that 40-point every game guy, which he's just not doing right now. Kemba Walker, there's clearly still something up with him. I don't know what it is. Gordon Hayward, you're not going to see him at 100% because he's not. He looks way better than anyone else that was coming off the bench recently, so that's good at least, but that's still not really saying much. We're not asking for a lot for someone to be substantially or any sorts of more competent than the guys coming off the bench like Brad Wanamaker and Robert Williams and Grant Williams. It's just Semi Ojeleye. I don't even want to see some of those guys on the court tonight. It makes no sense to have them out there. Unless they're up like 30 points with less than 3 minutes to go. That's the only time I want to see those guys out there. Jaylen Brown has got to be a little more consistent too. Daniel Tice has got to do the best he can to slow down Bam Adebayo. I'm not sure what if his hand is going to be a problem for him tonight. That would be huge for the Celtics, but they still have other guys to stop too. Because the thing is, the Heat didn't even look that good either. The Celtics just looked really bad compared to them, which is a lot, which says a lot. So it's going to be tough. It's an uphill battle from here, obviously. And like I said, it seems all but over to me. But this is why they play the games. There's a game tonight for a reason, so the Celtics can try to keep themselves alive for at least another game. And if they do, that'll be Sunday night at 7:30. So if they do make it to Sunday, I'll have a lot of football to watch along with that Celtics game. So that's a lot going on. But let's just make it that far first. I don't see a reason to think that we will, but maybe we will. Who knows? Or maybe they will. I guess we shouldn't say we. I shouldn't say we. I'm not really on the team. So let's see if they will. Because if they don't, there's gonna be plenty of backlash for not making it. Because what's fresh in people's minds still is what happened to the Boston Bruins last year. In their playoff run, they were basically handed a run to the Stanley Cup Finals. And every opponent wasn't that great. Obviously, the Blues, St. Louis Blues, who ended up beating the Bruins in the finals, were the best team that they faced, but the Bruins still should have won that, and they blew it. And this Celtics team isn't exactly on that level because their competition has certainly been better than what the Bruins were facing last year, but it's not a cakewalk. It wasn't a cakewalk, I would say, and it's not a guarantee, but for the Milwaukee Bucks to look the way they did and get eliminated, and the Celtics completely avoiding them, and the Toronto Raptors not looking good at all, and the 76ers looking awful. I know the Heat have looked like the best team in the East in the playoffs, but the Celtics are a better team. So they should be, at the very least, going to the NBA Finals. And it doesn't look like that's going to be the case, unfortunately. So, I don't know. If they don't make it, then you're going to hear a lot of rumors coming between this season and whenever the next one starts. I know they're thinking January or something right now for the 2021 NBA season. But let's hope we don't have to start that quite yet. That would be that wouldn't be fun. I don't really want to make videos like that just yet. So thank you all for watching. Go Celtics. Let's hope they can stay alive tonight. I'll be watching. And thank you all for the support. Again, I know I say it every video. Would love if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel. I've been trying to post more and more almost every day or every other day. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.